Welcome everybody. I'm making this video just to show you my fertilizers I make, my organic fertilizers. I really just got two of them to show you right now, but I just harvested them and put them in jugs, and these are the same type right here. These two on the top here, they're both made from tomato debris. So this is tomato fertilizer, Jadam style, right here. And you just use very little of this. You use like a tablespoon. I just give it a little bloop in the water. Whenever I water it, like maybe once a week, twice a week. And there's really not much in it, but I don't know what the magic of it is, but it works great. So I just continue to use it, and I continue to do it year after year to great result. But this is the, I actually apply this a little bit at the, I actually apply it heavily at the beginning of the year for this tomato bed, just to put organic matter in the soil on it. And then I harvest it, and I only use it, I start to use it more frequently whenever the tomatoes start to appear on it. So as soon as the tomatoes start to appear on it, I ramp up the production of this. But the secret to this is that, or not ramp up the production of it, or ramp up the use of it. But the secret is that whenever the tomatoes start to get about halfway the size they're gonna eventually be, then you just stop using this. You stop using these organic fertilizers at that point when they're about that big. When they're going to get that big, you want to stop using it as soon as they're that big. Because for some reason, it contributes to a rot, like a center rot on them sometimes. And it makes it more easier for the exterior of the fruit to rot when you're using these organics. So as soon as it goes into production, you want to give it a lot over maybe like a week. You want to give it like every time you feed for a week. And then all the rest of the time, for the rest of the time of the plant, you're not going to give it any more of this. But this is the tomato fertilizer right here. And this right here too. But this right here is my nitrogen fertilizer right here. And I just put this in this bucket here. But here's my nitrogen ferment. And all that is it sounds nasty and it smells nasty, but I save my urine, and human urine is full of nitrogen. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's so full of urea that whenever it's processing, thought I was going to be a smart aleck one day, and I was just, I'm going to dip my roots in this stuff. So I had it sitting there, and I just wanted to see what would happen. So I put my roots directly into the solution, and when I put my roots in there, you could hear it sizzle. And the root drew up like this. It just said, I mean, and then you could see bubbles coming off of it. It was so acidic. So there's a lot of acid in there. A lot of uric acid is what it's called. And then that turns into urea. You put a little bit of soil on there. I put leaf mold in there. And over a 2 month period to up to a year plus, is the longer it sits, the more concentrated it gets, because the bacteria continue to break it down into a finer form, and that finer form is much more potent, and so it'll slowly replace itself, the whole amount, if I were to just leave this for an extended period of time with a very, very concentrated form of nitrogen. So, and then, I mean, you can they say, oh, you can't do the amount you need for a big garden, but for a garden for a home, you could easily collect. The real barrier is the time it has to sit. It's not the collection. You can easily collect urine. I mean, you could fill up a 5-gallon bucket every 2 weeks. Easily. With one person. So it's not a problem with that. And they try to act like, oh my God, we don't have nitrogen fertilizer. I'm like, you make nitrogen fertilizer. So put it in a bucket and let it ferment, and bam, there you go. The only cost you have is the initial cost of buying the bucket and buying the lid. And you fill it up and you can't use it for 2 months. And if you start using it in 2 months, you have to use a lot of it mixed with water. And the longer it sits, the less you use until they say you can use a teaspoon in a gallon when it's at full potency. So you can easily fertilize your own personal garden with natural inputs that you don't need to go to the store or spend any money on all this fertilizer, and they're worried about the Strait of Hormuz and all this other geopolitical stuff, and just the fact that it has to be shipped around the world is ridiculous to me when it's all available right here. So I just wanted to make a video about that, and it's been 6 minutes. So I just wanted to say happy birthday to my friend Haley.